Right. I thought I'd go over on how to determine if a lens is good or not if you find one at a yard sale or something like that, flea market, and you were thinking about buying one for your DSLR and using an adapter, um, seeing if a lens is good. So inspecting a lens. So here we go. I'll start out with this. This is a M42 screw mount lens. So first thing you pick it up, what you want to do is make sure everything is smooth. So right here we've got your focus ring. So right here the line is where it starts. It's on infinity. So just turn it all the way and make sure it's nice and smooth and goes all the way in nice and smooth. And you'll also want to check while you're in here, check the aperture ring or f-stops. They should click, but you want to make sure that it goes through all of them and doesn't hang up, but they will click like I said. Alright, so next we're actually going to take a look at the lens. We'll make sure everything's clean in here. So this lens, you can't see through it. Notice the f-stops at f22, or f16 on this lens. So why we got this here, we want to kind of look and see, make sure there's no oil on those aperture blades in there. You see them in there a little bit, and it looks pretty clean. You can check on the other side and see, make sure. It's hard to see. Okay, now next thing is we want to stop this lens down to where it's at f1.8. This will open it all the way up, and make sure it's, you want to hold it up to the light, like a light around, maybe up to the whatever lighting source is around, and just look through it. Make sure it's clean. Sometimes there'll be some dust on the front of the lens or whatever, and you could just wipe that off with your shirt. It's not going to affect anything. So do that, and then you could just look at both sides, make sure there's no scratches, look through it. There's two problems you might find when you're looking through there. There might be fungus or haze. So we'll go through both of those right now. Well, I wanted to say for that, if you can't figure out how to, say your lens is closed all the way down like that, what you can do, if you can't figure out how to open up the aperture blades, a lot of the lenses will have an auto and manual switch. So you do it, you switch it to manual and then down to f1.8 or whatever the lens would go, and then you might have to click on the pin here in the back. So like you would click on the pin and it opens and closes. And also you want to make sure it's snappy like this when you do that. Some of them will be like kind of real slow to open up like that, and that's not a good thing either. Alright, so let's take a look what some haze looks like. Let me find one. I know I've got some here. And okay, first we'll start off. Some of these are hard to see. Did you see that gunk right there? That is fungus. See, if you kind of look through the light, you could see, and this is, you could tell it's on the inner optics. So this lens is junk. That's really going to affect the image there. So I would, if I was buying this one, I would pass on it. So anything that kind of looks like hairy like that or spider webby, that's usually fungus. And then we got this Canon one. This one's just dreadful. I don't know if you can see it, but it has some bad stuff in it as well. Oh, well, I've got this one up here too. This is a older one, so you might find these lenses. This is a zoom lens, so like I said, you go through here on the make sure it focuses okay. Well, this is a zoom lens, and there's only one ring here, so you're like, how do you zoom it? This one's a push-pull one, so on these you want to make sure you push-pull and make sure it goes all the way out to like 300 here and 60. Also, if you look at this lens, you could tell it's broken. You can see in there, on here on the side, it got dropped, and it's hard to see, but it's not the same distance on each side there. You can also tell it's dropped because the ring up here is bent. You can see that. Somebody dropped it, and anytime these are bent, you can't fit a filter on there. So sometimes everything else is okay, but these got bent, knocked around or something. But they're still worth purchasing. You just can't put a filter on there if you like a filter. So let's find another one that has some bad hazing. Yeah, this one's a haze one. You see that in there? Sometimes haze is harder to see. Like I said, just hold it up to the light. If you've got one of those little flashlight rings, there it is. You see that? That's haze right there. If you got a little flashlight thing, you could also shine it through it if the light's not the best. I hold it up to the sun or a light or whatever's close. But that's how you check a lens. Make sure everything's smooth. Like I said, make sure all the focus is smooth. Make sure the aperture blades don't have oil on there. Make sure the f-stops go through. Make sure the aperture is not sluggish, and also look through the lens. Look for scratches on either side of the element, and then make sure there's no fungus or haze inside the lens. If all that checks out, you've got a good lens. It's a good thing you could purchase some of these old film lenses fairly cheap, and then use an adapter on for your camera. Now, as far as identifying the lens mount, I've got a video on that, so you might want to subscribe and check that out. I've got plenty of other videos on photography, so subscribe. Thanks for watching.